This is the emergency broadcast system. This is not a test. Repeat, this is not a test. Citizens are advised to take the following steps. If exposed, remove clothes. Emergency broadcast system.
Podcast for the curious mind. I don't know what that means.
Broadcasting live from a German-made microphone deep within the multifamily bunker. I am Jamal with special guest host, Flat Earth Dave Weiss. Welcome to the show. We really appreciate you coming along.
Hey, no problem. Can you hear me?
We can hear you good. We
All
can
right.
hear you good. You gotta get down all the applause. Everyone's
Some
pretty excited.
crazy things happening on my computer. Hey, thanks for having me, guys. And this should be interesting. I have no idea where we're gonna go, but let's find out.
Now listen, I think three of us are definitely very interested in hearing what you have to say. The only globey is Maximus Globalist over there.
I love having a globalist. I'm trying to find the stream on your channel. How come is it not on your Shills U channel?
It should be on Phantom Facts YouTube.
Oh, okay.
If anyone wants to watch the live stream, Phantom Facts.
Yeah, I was gonna share it. If you could put a link in the chat for me, or is there a chat? Yeah.
I actually can because I have it because I just did it on mine as well.
Thank you, Boo. I appreciate that.
Right.
Dave, you're our second guest on this show, so we're all pretty pumped. The first one was Colonel Sanders, so I mean I feel like we keep slowly going up.
The great nephew, right?
Yeah, the great nephew of Colonel Sanders. But now we got Flat Earth Dave on here. Now this, I'll tell you, when we announced that we were getting you on our show on TikTok, we announced it, and the amount of angry comments we got on TikTok blew my mind. And it wasn't
are super triggered quickly. I thought I was a super trigger. I'm like, whoa, look at that guy's.
If you have a strong belief in something, whatever it is, it could be religious thing, just anything, and somebody has the opposite belief, if it triggers you, that means that you have a problem with your belief. Okay? Because if you have a rock solid belief in something and someone has the opposite, you could be like, oh, you could be like, that doesn't affect me. But you look at these globalists, they're ridiculous, and I don't know.
I mean, it was immediate. It was just, and like the amount of anger that came. I mean, when we brought it up to Devin is Maximus Globalist, by the way. Okay. He's a co-host of the show.
I like it. Hey, one more picky request.
Oh no.
Can you widen my screen? Can you make me so I have the full aspect ratio? Because when I show you things, they're going to be cut off over there. Well, I don't want to take the whole screen. Can you make it? There you go. You did it.
That worked. I'm learning. Be patient.
Better Dave's already.
You'll get it figured out.
We'll see how to good job.
He is an electrician.
Oh, hey.
Yeah, well, the whole gravity thing was really intriguing to me. But we'll get to that. We'll get to that in a minute. Anyway, when did you first start researching Flat Earth? Like, when did this become part of your persona online?
I was doing a podcast called Deep Inside the Rabbit Hole, and it was about other deceptions of the world, and out of New York City, and the second and third year, people started sending me Flat Earth stuff. Hey, look into Flat Earth, and I did as any normal person would do, ban them from our social media because they're too stupid to even listen to our show or let alone comment on it. And then finally, I was forced to look in 2014, 15. Yeah, somewhere in 2014, 15. I suck with dates. And I tried to prove the globe. I tried to disprove Flat Earth. That's how you become a Flat Earther. Anybody that really looks into it, that's when you become a Flat Earther. And a Flat Earther, flat isn't a shape. Flat Earther is a weaponized term, but I own it, as you can see. And it's a description of level and horizontal. And we all have the same story. We thought it was stupid until we looked into it. But a lot of people, I'm going to look into it. Let me Google it. Oh, Flat Earth. Oh, Flat Earth is ancient, disproven, debunked theory. No, that's not. That's just words, from your Google masters. So
when Rob brought it up to me, Rob brought it first up to me, I would say 3-4 years ago.
Yeah,
we were working together, Artemis Army Kennel over there, Rob. And I thought Rob had gone nuts. to be honest with you. I was just like, what in the hell is Rob talking
We all
about?
have the same story. You're telling the same story.
And as I've been researching it, I'm like, oh man, that's an interesting point. That's an interesting point. That's it. So I'm just, I'm excited to hear you take us down this path of flat eartherism. Is that the right term? Flat eartherism?
It is. It's actually that is the dictionary word, flat eartherism.
Oh, look at me.
Yeah, I made that up.
I knew that.
Go ahead.
So you started was about 7 years ago then.
Yeah, about
really
7 years,
researching it.
Really try. I went in with a negative attitude to disprove it and prove the globe because it's easy. There's a million proofs of the globe, and flat earthers think that, if we lived on a flat earth, you'd have to lean over as you walked away from the center. That's a pre-programmed idiotic belief, right? No flat earther believes that. Flat earthers believe that the earth is rising at 9.8 meters per second to cause gravity. No flat earther believes that, right? Flat earthers think that we're special on a disk planet. No flat earther thinks any planets are disks. Okay. Flat earthers think all of these crazy things, but that's not what flat earthers think. That's what people that think they know what flat earthers think. And it's ridiculous, everything they think. They're right for thinking flat earthers are crazy if flat earthers believe that nonsense.
So what was the thing that, I guess, because you went from thinking it was crazy to researching it. What was the point where like it actually started to
what pushed me over the edge?
Yeah.
So I started saying, okay, if the earth is a globe, we have a physical horizon. So when something goes away, it goes over the physical horizon and you shouldn't be able to see it. Right. So I started seeing all of these videos on, boats being zoomed back in. And, and I'm like, well, they're just mistaken on their distances. And then I saw really well documented stuff where we can see too far, if we use the curvature formula and everything. So I went out and bought a Nikon P900 at the time.
I own one.
And I live on a beach community, and I sit down on the water's edge, and I zoomed in on a beach over 7 miles away, and I saw people sitting at the water's edge. And I zoomed in on a buoy that was about 11 miles away, rounded down to 10 just to make sure. And there should be 66 feet of curvature. So I said, oh, the curvature formula is wrong. So I went to Mick West debunking website, which is just ridiculous. But I wanted to hear what the enemy had to say. And he said, well, curvature doesn't work like that. It's not 6 feet of drop or 66 feet of drop. It's 33 because you're over here and your target's over there. So you share the curve. That's retarded. But I said, okay, I'll give it to you anyway because I don't need it. 33 feet of curvature, physical mountain hump. I could still see a buoy that's only 10 feet tall. Okay. So no matter how much leeway we give them, it doesn't work. And then they go, oh, standard refraction, 7.6R, and they're making up the radius of the earth, and everything is just made up pseudoscience. And even their best scientists say, cosmology is off by a factor. Mitchell said cosmology is off by a factor of 10 to the 200th power, I think. That's 10 with 200 zeros. Okay. You can't even fathom what 10 with 20 zeros is. 10 to the 120th. Sorry, 120 zeros. Right? A trillion. How many zeros are in a trillion, boys? That's an easy question.
Oh no.
Come on.
12.
Is it 12? Yeah, I think you're right. 12. So how long is 1 trillion seconds?
Ooh, it's a long time.
I know the answer to this, but I want the other guys to experience.
I don't think you. I'm not 100%. I know you can have your billionth second in your lifetime. I think that's when you're like 32 or something, but I don't know.
Yeah, you're right. So that should be pretty easy if you did your math. Well, if 1 billion seconds is 31 years, then 1 trillion seconds is 31,000 years. It's 1,000 billions. Okay, so 12 zeros measured in seconds is 31,000 years. You know what happens if you put another zero on there? Okay. You got to multiply that times 100 or 1,000. Okay. You got to multiply, and then you add another zero. You got to take that number and multiply it 100-fold. Okay. It's absolute insanity. The numbers don't even exist. Right. But they want you to believe this is where we're at. This is what's going on. And then here's the thing. Flat earthers, people that took the time and researched for the last 7 years, know way more about the heliocentric model than every single glober out there. And the reason I could say this with 100% confidence is if you knew a quarter of what we know about your globe, you wouldn't be a glober. You'd be a flat earther. Because it's ridiculous. It's a helio-nonsensical BS model. It makes absolutely no sense whatsoever.
What was the purpose of creating a globe then?
Why the lie?
Yeah.
Yeah, why the lie? It's all about, well, let me ask you a question. Do you think there's some tyranny going on in the world right now?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Every day.
Yeah.
Do you think that governments may be working together to control the population of the sheeple? That's us.
May over there is starstruck right now. You can say yes, May. It's okay. You can.
Right. So
I know. I just.
Get on record.
Just know that. Just know. We had the Cold War.
Illuminati?
We had the Cold War, and during the Cold War, Russia and America, the Cold War. I grew up all through the Cold War. Not a single battle. Nobody died. Not once. Right. It was just, you need more bombs. We need more bombs. You need more bombs. We need more bombs. You need more planes. We need more planes. Nuclear this, nuclear that. Then you find out nuclear bombs don't even exist. It's all a lie. And the Cold War, it's just to build up the military industrial complex. Okay. And none of it is real. So you have to control the people's minds. Well, if they all made us slaves, we would rebel. But if they put us in a prison for our mind, it's the matrix. The heliocentric system is the matrix. It's a prison for our mind. You live on a ball. You guys remember the Truman Show? Truman goes, I want to be an explorer. The teacher goes, oh, Truman, everything's been discovered already. There's nothing else to do, right? And that's kind of the mentality of living on a ball. You can go around and around and around and around, and you don't go anywhere, right? And then they give us all of our jobs, and most jobs in life are just meaningless jobs to keep you busy, to keep you as a good little slave. And they harvest our energy. This is an energetic war. And that's how they get away with it. Most people don't believe in any of that stuff. Most people don't believe, in anything that's not physical, scientifically proven, according to science. But, you look at the globe, there's zero science. Zero science.
What do you
Zero.
mean by that?
Well, for example, this is a balloon at 127,000 feet. This is a real video.
Oh, okay. That's the guy that jumped off for like Red Bull or something.
No, this isn't the Red Bull. I can show you the Red Bull one. But who's the guy in the middle was sitting on the moon there? Who's that?
Me?
Yeah,
That's Devin.
Yeah.
Yeah, Devin. Maximus.
Yeah.
Devin, you're the globalist. Why do you have a cartoon behind you?
The photo.
Yeah,
For what?
It's not a
that's
photo.
fake.
It's not a photo.
That's what I tried telling him before the show, Dave,
Yeah.
and he won't put up. He's just all in
I
on.
can't throw away all the science. I understand
What
where you're coming
science?
from
What
on the
science?
The study of gyroscopes, the Coriolis effect.
Wait,
about how do you
whoa,
explain the
hold on.
oceans going in a
Hold-
circle and there's
hold
storms
on.
going in circles?
Well, one at a time. Which one do you want to go for? Coriolis?
Whatever you want to go for.
Okay, so when you talk about Coriolis, do you know what the Coriolis effect is?
Yeah, it's from their spinning in the atmospheres.
Right.
Not generalizing, but
they say that snipers, there's one video of a sniper saying he has to calculate for the Coriolis when he does long range shots, but every other sniper, practicing sniper that anyone ever talks to, they say they never, ever, ever even consider it. And balloons ignore the Coriolis effect. So you're talking about storms rotating in opposite directions south of the tropics. You with me? Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know where the tropics are? Right.
they spin counterclockwise in the southern hemisphere and they spin clockwise in the
Right.
northern.
So there is a flow. There's a energetic flow that comes out of our north. We live in this toroidal field, and the sun and the moon, they circle around in this direction in between the two tropics. I don't know if you can see here.
Mhm.
The outer line is the Tropic of Capricorn. The inner line is the Tropic of Cancer. And the sun migrates 6 months out, 6 months in, 6 months out, 6 months in. The moon migrates 2 weeks out, 2 weeks in, 2 weeks out, 2 weeks in. And so it's going around this. Everything outside of that circle spins one way, and everything inside that circle spins another way. If you take your hand and push it through water, or paddle, push it through water, you'll get counter-rotating vortexes. So I say it's an energetic wave of this energy that's going around, because the sun and the moon are energetic. They're right here within our Earth system, and that's what's going on. Now, if it was the spin of the Earth, you would never ever have a storm cross the tropics and spin in the wrong direction, but that happens every year. Happens multiple times every year, but you just don't hear about it. The majority go spin the proper direction. But if a storm is moving and the sun and the moon are, say, on the other side, they're over here when the storm is coming up to the tropics, and it moves quick enough, it might get across and then never get that reverse, spin or be torn apart. So when you say that it's the spin of a ball, that doesn't even make sense. If you're spinning on a ball, okay, why would storms spin in opposite directions? The truth is, when you look here, if I go to the real wind charts, go to 40,000 feet on, bam. So when you convert what they show us the ball, these are the real wind patterns of the world. These pink and white lines are like 200-mile-an-hour winds. But look what direction they're going. They're going east. East. So the Earth is spinning, and all of the air, right, that's going out, it's very low because in comparison, but it's outrunning the spin by a couple 100 miles an hour. How is that possible on a ball? Right? And what are the chances that it would make a perfect circle rather than, you convert this onto a map, you get this big up and down, this big sine wave that they show us. But that's just because they're crunching it, onto or stretching it onto a sphere. Makes no sense. What was your next one?
Let's see. I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay. So if you can just zoom in, why can't we just zoom in on the sun and moon from anywhere on the planet?
Good question. Very good question. So what's the best way to show this? All right. So sunsets. There's a difference between celestial viewing and terrestrial viewing. What's he talking about? Very easy. I'm going to explain it. I'm trying to find all right, so here we go. So what is that you guys or me? Oh, here we go.
With what?
No, there we go. Never mind. I got like double ringing and all sorts of stuff.
Oh.
All right. Sorry, my bad. So where is it? I'm trying to find a simple illustration. All right, so I'll explain it first. We have 3 layers. We have the ground, which is the terrestrial layer. We have the atmosphere, which is the atmospheric layer. And then we have everything above the atmosphere, which is the celestial layer. Got it? Makes sense. And so when you look up through the thinnest, the shortest distance through the atmosphere, it's pretty clear and you can see stars, no problem. But when you look across the atmosphere, it's like looking across a long swimming pool underwater. The water, it becomes opaque. The air becomes opaque, and everything merges together into the horizon. Okay, you know that. And so when you have something that merges into the horizon, it becomes opaque. So let's just watch this video real quick. There we go. That's not it. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh no, you're good.
Being on this perspective. All right. So here we have street lights. They're going into distance. They merge, and then the street lights a mile away. You can't see them, not because they're hidden. They're just there. So here's a guy looking up at the cloud, 5,000, 10,000 feet up, whatever it is. And imagine he's an actual physical string from his eye to the cloud. So it goes straight up. But those clouds move into the distance, and they look like they're going down, but it's just perspective. And so when you get all the way like 20, 30 miles away, the clouds look like they're touching the water. So this little cloud here is touching the water. So if he looks at that cloud and can see the string, that string is pretty much parallel across the surface of the earth, right? He sees that string about 6 feet off the water, right to the cloud, which is at his eye level. But what if you were standing underneath that cloud and you could see the string? What would you see? Okay. You would see a string coming from a cloud 5,000-10,000 feet in the air that slopes backwards to his eyes like that. You're underneath the cloud. You would see a string coming from up here down there when he sees a string going parallel with the water. Okay.
Right.
All right. So all those clouds, they merge together and they become opaque. So when the sun travels across the earth, so here comes the sun. So I moved this closer and extended the line beyond, right? This is the guy underneath the cloud. Here's the string. This guy sees the line going straight across. The sun's going across, and as soon as it goes beyond this opaque atmospheric deck, the sun will disappear to this guy's view because he can't see below this cloud because this cloud is already at the horizon the way his eyes work. Okay. And so what this guy sees is different. Okay. What he actually will see is the sun go away like this and disappear behind that cloud, just like it did before. It's all perspective.
I watched a couple of your videos in prep for you coming on the show, Dave, and I can't tell. My sunrises have not been the same since because I just keep staring at the sun. Like, is it coming towards me or is it rising?
Well, you know what? Get rid of the indoctrination and let it go. So here's another little side. This is a side view. By the way, nobody ever experiences a side view. You never see the side of your own face, right? So you'll never see this. So here's the sun going a side view, going away. Here are the clouds going away. This is what a side view would look like. But this guy sitting here, what does he see? He sees this. Well, it's almost a better view. There's the sun's going down. The clouds are going down. And so he could see up through these clouds. But as he starts drawing the line over here, when he goes all the way over here, this just becomes opaque, merges with the horizon. So he sees the sun going away and it goes behind. This is all opaque. He can't see through this. Okay. So
yeah.
it just goes away. Now, if he zoomed in, he can't zoom in because this is opaque. All of this is opaque. He can't zoom in. But if it was a boat he was looking at, the boat gets merged, it's gone, but you can zoom in and increase the angular size because the terrestrial viewer is down here. If I was having a celestial view from above the clouds, I would still be able to see the sun, and I could show you that in a minute in real life. Okay? So this is the guy zooming in. He can see the boat here because he's underneath the clouds, but he can't. This is his line of view. Cloud in his way, cloud in his way, cloud in his way. The sun goes beyond it, and he can't see it. Okay?
That makes sense. Yeah.
You know what? We weren't taught to think this way, but when you really start looking at it, then you can see it. So let me just show you.
How do you explain the sun and how it looks so huge in the morning?
Good
or
question.
in the evening?
Moon does that too. Like, you know what I mean?
And then when it above
first
you
comes up, it looks bigger than it
Can you
really is.
hold that question? Let me just let me answer that. That's another mind trick, and I'll show you some crazy stuff. How your mind isn't showing you what you think you're seeing. So, real quick, let me just show you. This is for those of you watching that have seen this before. It's all right. We have a celestial view, a raised view above the cloud deck of the path of the sun, which is this level line, and I'm moving the sun along this level line. Now, this could be the cloud deck. It could be a city skyline. It could be mountains. It doesn't matter. It's opaque. You can't see through it, and I never go below it. Now, I have a camera below this line on the other end of the counter. So it's a terrestrial camera, and it's watching the same thing. And look at the sun. If I showed you this first and said, is this going down? You'd say, well, yeah, it's down about a 45-degree angle. And I'd say, is this going below this opaque barrier, which is at camera level, pretty much? And you'd be like, yeah, it's going below it. And if I zoomed in, look at this line. It looks like it's almost going straight down. This is a level line, and this sun is not going below this horizon, right? This is mountains, clouds. They merged into the horizon. Here's a real sunset. What's it going behind right here? What's it going behind? Looks very similar to this. This is the atmospheric deck of opacity. And if I zoomed out, this line where the sun is going behind and this apparent horizon on the water would just merge together, and you wouldn't even be able to tell the difference.
See, I used to live in San Diego, and I've never seen I see what you're saying there. Though. Those are definitely clouds back there, but I guess I never really paid attention enough to like look. I always look for the green flash, that they say you see.
And
I've seen
that's
it,
okay.
but
yeah, you'll see it. But here's the thing: all of those clouds, and even on a cloudless day, the atmosphere, it's called the non-uniform. I'll never get this right. The non-uniform transition zone, whatever. The last 10 feet, 20 feet of air, on the surface of the earth is the thickest. And we're always looking through that. And that becomes opaque, and the sun will disappear behind it. And you can't see it. It literally becomes a hard line. And as the sun goes away, it just disappears behind it.
Right.
Okay.
That's a good video you got there too. And also, so you're saying if you're up high, you could zoom in on the sun then? And you had a video of that?
So let me show you that. So I've been accused that this is CGI because the Globers have no other excuse, but I've live streamed it.
I've seen the same argument both ways. Like I've seen flat Earth.
Well, here's the thing.
I
get it. Well, and we usually prove it. I've live streamed it. So the sun was way up high, and in 5 minutes time, it went down, 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 down. Now, if the Earth was spinning, it would keep on going, but it didn't. It went down, 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 and it stopped right here. Okay. Now my friends are at the beach over here, and they said the sun set bottom up 10 minutes ago, but this sun sat here for 10 minutes and it stopped going down. And instead of dropping down,
just sort of drifts away.
It just fades
away. Now let me tell you how. Well, people go, I've been watching sunsets for 50 fucking years and I've never seen that. Okay, have you watched the sunset under these conditions from a very high altitude, right? Because I'm filming this with a 4K drone, below freezing, zero humidity, and a cloudless, like I'm talking 9/11 clear day. Okay. You don't know what 9/11 clear day is. On 9/11, the 9/11, it was the clearest fucking day I've ever seen in my life. Okay?
Little dark, Dave. Little dark.
Yeah,
no, that's perfect, Dave.
This right up our alley, humor-wise. This is freaking home run.
All right, so
might be the opener.
I filmed it 7 different times. All right, and if you go in my app and you click the web button, you scroll down, boom, right here are all of the videos, all of the sun fade out videos, including in the descriptions, the raw unedited video, the live streams, the solar filter attempts. Okay. All the Globers say, with a solar filter on, you're looking at glare. And I say, go fuck yourself. Excuse me. because I did it with a solar filter and the sun disappeared. Then I landed the drone, took the solar filter off, put it back up, and the sun was still there. Okay,
Devin must be a flat earther now. His back screen.
they don't want you. They don't want you seeing. They don't want you seeing the most important part, which is the very beginning of the sunset. I mean, the very end of the sunset or the very beginning of the sunrise. So let me show you why you asked why it's bigger. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. That's my question. So, I'm sure, I'm just stupid, but
no, you're not just stupid. Listen, it's a great question. And have you ever seen the video where a guy is like, they film a building and the building is gigantic, and then they go down the road, and as they get to the end of the road, closer to the building gets smaller and smaller and smaller. It's an optical illusion. I have the perfect place here. We have Stanford Hospital. At my beach is this long road covered in trees. You look down the road and there's the hospital. It's huge. And as you get to the end of the road, it turns into a tiny little dot, which should be the opposite. Okay. When you see the moon on the horizon, it looks gigantic. Take a picture of it. It looks tiny, right? You ever try to take a picture of a giant moon and it's very unimpressive. Ready? This is going to sound a little weird. Next time there's a giant moon on the horizon, turn around, put your back to the moon, spread your legs, bend over, and look at the moon upside down through your legs, and it will be tiny.
First of all, that's physically impossible for me.
That little beer belly is gonna be like.
A listener sent this to me. A listener sent this to me. This is a cloudy day.
I'll try it out.
And right here, you can see the actual sun, but this is the sun that we see because it's manifesting, if that's better, that's a good word. We see it projected into what I call our sky screen. Okay.
Okay.
This one. So I'll show you this since we're here. So this is a real eclipse that I filmed, and this is a simulation of an eclipse, and they both pretty much look the same. I'm just going to go through this real quick because it's slightly off topic, but it's kind of on topic. So here is an eclipse. This eclipse is like 85% eclipse, but it's so bright it's just blowing out the camera lens. But we see this and we see this. Now this is clearly a lens flare because it moves around, but this one is locked to the sun, and we're like, what the hell is that? So I said, maybe this is the projector, just like I was showing you in that other picture. Okay, maybe this is the source, and this is the sun that we see. And we never see the source because the sun is always too bright and it blocks it. But during an eclipse, under the right conditions, it can be seen. So, and this is why no one has ever seen the moon eclipse the sun. They've seen it an eclipse, but they never see the moon. They never see it approach, eclipse, or exit the face of the sun. So here I am. I have my source light, and I have my bottle cap, which is the moon, eclipsing, and this is what we see. Interesting. Looks kind of just like an eclipse. So I'll jump forward a little more. And again, we don't see it moving because there's no light lighting up on the sheet. The moon is dark, and the moon is a new moon during an eclipse. So here I am doing the same thing with a thinner sky. And here comes my eclipse. Look, here's the little eclipse. Here's what the eclipse that we see. Compare it to that actual eclipse. Ready? Come on. Boom. Same friggin' thing. Same thing. Same thing. Right?
I was speechless on that one. That's cool.
Yeah. So
because you don't really know what the sun is, right? Am I understanding that right?
Absolutely not. The best explanation we have is a transformer from another dimension. Okay,
so
don't ask me.
Which, I mean, I think
Edward Dollard said that, or whatever his name is, Eric Dollard.
Eric Dollard said that.
Professor Eric Dollard said that.
So if I'm correct, you're saying that what we see when we see the sun, we're just seeing a projection of it. That's not actually what we're seeing. What we're actually seeing.
It sure makes a lot of sense, for the sun and the moon, because the moon, will light up the clouds that are right next to it. Which, how can it do that from 238,000 miles away, right? So, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So the ones that we see are close. So I just listen. I'm not making any solid claims. I'm saying it sure looks like it works this way, and then you can go, scientifically, it makes sense. It would work. Biblically, it's right there. But I never use the Bible as a proof because anyone that doesn't believe in the Bible, it doesn't do any good.
Well, then they become more focused on that than what you're actually trying to say, anyway. So.
Correct. So
we got to
hold on one thing. Hold on for a second. Here's my sky sheet. I got a flashlight, a square face flashlight, 10 feet behind it, and it's looks like a sun. So I said, Paige, where do you see the sun? She goes, right there. So I drew a little circle on the sheet. Her circle's over there. My circle's over here. Okay. So we're looking at the sun in two different places. It's an apparent sun. That's why you can't triangulate the position of the sun or the moon, because two people looking at it see it in two different positions. That's because I believe the sun and the moon that we see are not physical. So believing that there's a burning ball of gas 93 million miles away, where they keep changing the distance, right? That is warming our Earth and holding on to all of the planets in a row and ignoring all of the moons is a leap of faith so far that I'm not willing to go there. The people in Narnia are laughing at that. Right? Wait. And one more thing, just to blow your mind so you can understand how illusions work, right? How your mind works. Oh, so the whole thing of bending over and looking at the moon, it's tiny, and the thing with the building in the distance, it gets smaller as you get closer. I'm going to show you a table, two tables. Are these tables? Where'd it go? Are these tables the same width and dimension? Are they the same width and dimension, aspect ratio? Doesn't look like it, right? But if I take this piece of paper, that's that size of that table, and it's that same size on that table. Now that I showed you the illusion, can you break it? Nope. Nope. Right?
I feel broken.
So hold on. This next one's gonna break you. All right. So now check this out. This is a parabola. It's thinner and longer here, and it's just perspective. You can understand how that works, right? And so here it is spinning in a circle, but your mind thinks it's turning back and forth like this. It's actually spinning in a circle here. But your mind says, oh, the longer edge is always closer to me, so it's not letting it spin, and it's making it go back and forth. It's actually spinning in a circle, okay? So how can we break the illusion? He's going to stick a pen through the window, okay, which should break the illusion, right? So you got a little piece of tape there, and he sticks the pen through, and he sticks it, balances it on there, and he's going to twist up the string again, and he's going to spin it around. And so your mind should see the pen spinning around. What will it do with the window? Well, you think it would break the illusion, especially since I explained it to you now. But when you watch it, remember, this is spinning in a circle. Unless you can touch it and measure it, you can't make any claims about it.
That's wild. That is wild.
That's pretty interesting.
Okay. What the frig is going on there, right?
We have do you mind if I read off a question someone put in the chat here, Dave?
As long as it's not pro flat earth.
It's could you explain Bob's gyro experiment measured?
Bob's ring laser gyro experiment.
Yeah.
So I'm not the best one to explain this, but I'll explain what it is. The ring laser gyro measures, for lack of a better word, the ether. It measures rotation. If something is making it rotate. So if the Earth is a ball spinning around once per day, 360 degrees is 15 degrees per hour. And when they originally did it, it came with about 15 degrees per hour drift on the gyro. Okay, interesting. And they got that data, and they're like, all right, well, we need to do another control experiment. And so Bob made a comment. He's like, we better let the globers have this because they'll run with this half-concluded data, right? Half-concluded data. So what's another experiment you can do? Well, if the Earth is a ball and there's a mountain, pretend this is a mountain, there's a mountain that's up high, well, it's still going to go around 15 degrees per hour. So what they did is they went up on a mountain, and with the thing connected to the Earth, it measured a significantly different rotation. So what that proved, beyond a shadow of a doubt, is that it's the sky that's spinning, not the Earth, period. There's no other way about it. But first, I just explained it to you. Most people listening will be like, I don't understand. It's easier to understand that he proved the Earth is spinning, right? But it actually, when you study it and understand what it is, it proves, that test actually proved the Earth is not spinning. But Netflix, with their propaganda, is out there to send another message that Netflix is part of the New World Order. They're trying to control humanity. And if they get all the minds melted and believing nonsense, they can keep them as good little worker slaves. And soon, maybe you'll be robotic.
I just read you've read Propaganda by Edward Bernays. He was Sigmund Freud's nephew.
Yes.
He wrote the book. He was part of the propaganda campaign in World War I, and then he was disturbed by it, so he wrote the book Propaganda. But I found out that it's his great grandson, or I believe, that owns Netflix now. Which I just thought,
was it Bernays or all the connections are incredible. Like Mark Zuckerberg. I'm not sure. I could be wrong. Isn't he Rockefeller's grandson?
Yes, I did hear that too. Yeah.
Whether that may or not be true. I think it's true.
We'll throw allegedly in there.
We'll throw allegedly. Right. So the whole spinning of the Earth. Think about this. Okay. If you're at the equator, so let's say we're just looking down on a sphere. This isn't a flat Earth. This is the equator. You're moving at 1,000 miles an hour out here because it's 24,000 miles around and it spins once per day. So you're moving at 1,000 miles an hour down here. But here in the North Pole or Northern Alaska or Norway, you're spinning maybe a couple hundred miles an hour. So you're sitting on a runway. You have your spin of, let's call it 250 miles an hour, because you're making a much smaller circle over the course of 24 hours. So you have that. You fly to Ecuador, 500 miles an hour. You get there. You want to land on a north-south oriented runway, but the Earth is spinning 1,000 miles an hour sideways. Where do you get that extra speed from? What speeds you up sideways as you're flying out or down, flying out and down, which is ridiculous, to Ecuador? Right?
I don't know. I'm taking it all in because I find all this very fascinating.
Yeah.
Like things you haven't ever thought about.
I'll show you another one. This is a time lapse of a pilot flying to, where's he flying to? He's flying to, I think he's flying to Brazil from somewhere up north, right? How come the stars aren't all lifting up? Because he's diving over. These stars on the horizon should end up here. He's flying a quarter way around the world, right? It should look like this. As he's going, this is an animation. As he's going, he's diving over the Earth. So those stars should be rising like this, but they didn't. This is what they show us. This is animation. This is Stellarium or whatever program you want to play with. This is reality. Flat Earth is reality. The globe is a cartoon CGI programmed nonsensical system to keep you in a prison. I love questions from the chat. That was a good question, by the way. And I love some questions from you guys because I heard you guys make some ridiculous claims in your Flat Earth shows.
First of all, that's all Devin. All right. I will.
It wasn't a flat. We never had a Flat Earth show. We were just talking about it.
All right. So I'm gonna put it up to a bunch of guys having some beers, hanging around the campfire, shooting some shit, and making fun of people. We'll go with that. That's fine. That's fine. But now
I do not have.
We'll just say you were ignorant. I was ignorant. We were all ignorant. But after today's show, you're going to be willfully ignorant if you do it again.
I'm curious. So then Antarctica is circles the flat Earth, right? Is that it's the pond at the border? Am I right there?
Because that's my thing. It's heavily protected, Antarctica. I mean, I love going down that rabbit hole of why you can only get so close and then you get shooed away.
So if you draw a circle around Antarctica, it's like 10 to 13,000 miles. That's what they tell us. Okay. And if you look at it on a flat Earth, it's totally different. This is the shoreline of our pond. Large bodies of water at rest need a container. Take away the container and the water goes away. You have a bathtub, put a hole in the side of the bathtub, it's gone. Get a puddle, lower the side of the puddle, it's gone. A lake, a pond, the oceans. Here is Antarctica. Antarctica is the highest land on Earth. Okay. Captain Cook, who tried to circumnavigate Antarctica, it took him 3.5 years. He went over 60,000 miles. Well, the equator, which is here, is only 24,000 miles. How the hell did he go 3 times as far? Okay. 3 times as far. You're on the bottom, at the bottom of a ball.
No.
Okay. Makes no sense. And
he charted it to be over 60,000?
60,000 miles. Okay.
Which would mean that he was going around the circumference of
going around our lake. This is our pond, right? And what's out here in the outer space? The outer space, scientifically possible here on a realm Earth, right? Outer space, a vacuum adjacent to air, right? In the globe, you live on a rock surrounded by water, surrounded by air, adjacent to a void. I'm sorry, game over. You can't have that. It makes no sense. It doesn't exist.
What was the when did they do the treaty for no one to be able to go into Antarctica? When was that? It was like in the 40s, wasn't it?
No, 1959. I think it's 61. It became into effect. It was.
Do you think that ties in with them discovering we were on a flat Earth, or what's the reasoning behind that?
Well, it's funny. They, maybe, I believe that the controllers of this world are just the puppets of the real controllers, and who they are, great question. Okay. And maybe in the 40s and 50s, they discovered it and they're like, okay, we're gonna hijack this place. We're gonna keep everybody here. We're gonna do what our Luciferian nonsense. And they realize that, wow, Antarctica, people see where we are, they'll understand that, hey, there's more land out here, out, and we won't be able to control people, because you tell people there's something on the other side of the fence, or even show them that there's a fence, they want to know what's on it. Yeah. They want to know what's on the other side. And so Antarctica Treaty, bam, right? And all of a sudden they're like, let's go to the moon, someplace where you can't measure and we can tell you anything we want. Okay. And now we're then we went to the moon, what, how many, 6 times in a few years? And you guys don't believe we went to the moon, right?
We just did an episode
Devin does.
Sunday on it. Devin's hard.
It's a government cash grab. I'm starting to believe.
Well,
we're just getting bamboozled. We're just all bamboozled.
They just print all they want. They don't need your tax.
They don't need our money. They control us with their money. Very good. Whoever said that. They control us with their money. Here is an airport. I believe this is Dallas Airport. This is TSA. What the hell are they doing? They're guarding you from getting to the ice wall. This is the TSA.
Oh, that's genius. Look at that.
Right in your friggin' face.
Huh.
I like that.
Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, that is interesting.
Right? And then the other thing is, if the Earth was a globe tilted that goes around the sun like this, right? 6 months later, northern latitudes would have the same weather as southern latitudes. But that's not the way it is at all. In the north, 64 degrees north, there's plants, animals, everything. But in the south, there is nothing. There's like nothing. Okay? No plants, no life, no plants of any kind, not even what does that say? Lichen of moss has been found within 64 degrees.
That's lichen.
South.
That's like lichens, like that hard ass shit you'll see on like rocks, like at high elevations and shit.
Well, so at 64 degrees south, you can't find anything. No animals, no nothing. Maybe some penguins. We'll talk about that. But in the north, 20 degrees farther north, there's plants, animals, trees, all sorts of stuff. People, all kinds, right? That disproves the globe right here, right? And the globe argument is, well, there's more land in the north and it holds the heat, and in the south, there's more water, okay? Bullshit. Sorry. 20 degrees. I live in Connecticut, and Florida isn't even 20 degrees. Excuse me. It's like 10 or 15 degrees farther. Not even. Wait, 30? Yeah, not even. And the difference in temperatures is massive. Massive.
Yeah.
Okay, let's shift. So how do you explain the meteorites, asteroids?
Oh, that's a good question. Yeah. I'm
like, the one that happened in Siberia that knocked all the fucking trees over.
Well,
the one in Russia where, it blew all the windows out, etc., etc.
So you believe this is a meteorite, right?
Yes.
We're told.
Yeah. Yeah.
Why is it circular? Why are all the meteors circular? How come nothing comes in at an angle? How come everything comes in 90 degrees, no matter where it's coming, 90 degrees, right? Why do all the current ones land in northern Russia and are caught on a dash cam by chance? Okay. And why are they coming in at such angles? They're not coming straight down. Those videos we see are coming in. They should leave a huge gash, not a circle, right? What are these circles that we see on Earth? These are geysers. Okay. These are dead geysers.
Well, you think that? Oh, I could see that, or maybe an old volcano. Maybe
some of them might be, but they're geysers, right?
I mean, that makes sense though. With the gas, you would think it would just
this very day. Look 100%. Up methane craters. They're still happening in the north now, right? The ground liquefies and a bubble comes up and it leaves a huge crater. Okay, these are all not impacts, right? It makes this giant impact, but there's no debris, nothing. Okay, they're methane craters. And then the thing, so this is did you see this? This came down. It's space debris. It came in at 15,000 miles an hour onto a sheep farm. Isn't that funny? A sheep farm, right?
Where's that
15,000 somewhere, Dublin. I don't know. I'm not sure where. Right? This is on some space, science show. 15,000 miles an hour. Just jumping back to 9/11 for a second. That airplane that hit in Shanksville, I don't think it was going 15,000 miles an hour. It hit the ground. The ground swallowed it so deep that it can never be dug out. That's the official story, right? You want to believe that? You want to believe this? I can't help you. Okay.
Well, in the town I grew up in,
that picture looks fake.
Small little podunk
no
town. Yeah, yeah, it does. No, but like the late 1800s, they talked about a meteorite striking by Esterville, and they had a piece of the rock in the library and all that stuff. But you're saying that's just a BS story they came up with back then?
It's all BS stories. All of it is BS stories. But again, listen, I'm going to tell you a lot of stuff today. Don't believe a fucking word I say. All right. Don't believe anything. Go research this stuff yourself. Go in the app, hit the frequently asked questions button, the little question mark, right? Scroll to the bottom, and we have a button called Meteors and Asteroids, right? Click that. Up comes videos that they don't want you to see, okay? And then you'll see, and you'll learn for yourself. Let me ask you a question. Do you guys ever watch a meteor shower? I have.
No.
Right? Okay.
No.
Nowhere ever. So if we're on a meteor shower, we're here, okay? I'm in the United States, and I'm watching the sun's over on my left hand, so I'm watching them. They're all coming down. How come I don't see a meteor shower go like that up, right? Because it would be down for this guy. How come they always go down? No one has ever seen a meteor go down. But if meteors were skimming by the atmosphere, you would see them going up. Because if I saw it going up, someone in South America would see it going down. Okay. No one's ever seen a meteor shower go up. They all go down. Okay. That's because the earth is flat. The little lights that we're seeing in the sky are electrical phenomena. They're not grains of sand falling to the earth and burning up. I don't believe anything burns up coming into our atmosphere. Okay. That's all a cool story. And they all go down, 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 down.
Okay. So, I was gonna say like Polaris and the North Star, the South Stars.
Well, let's talk about that.
The Egyptian pyramid is actually pointed at the old North Star, and it's actually aligned with that. Like
right.
I'm just saying, like
so
they just shift the sky nice and slow. I'm like, you know what? Fuck the Egyptians.
Well, so
you know what?
So you believe that the people raining tyranny down on us, trying to change, the population of the earth and turn us into fucking cyborgs, because they told you that the Egyptians even made the pyramids, right? It's a whole fucking rabbit hole. Excuse my swearing. That is, it's unbelievable. So first, we're corkscrewing through space, traveling 4.5 billion miles a year, never to return to where we were before. But every year on a certain day, the Orion's belt lines up with the pyramids, okay? And the shaft in the pyramid is pointing towards Polaris. But 2,000 years ago, it was pointing towards a North Star, and we've drifted over to Polaris, okay? And that drift is so slow that we'll never notice it moving because it's only 1 degree per every 76 years. Okay, so they built the pyramids with a shaft pointing at the North Star, knowing damn well that North Star is going to drift away, and then there's going to be eons of time where there's no North Star, but we happen to just live at the time where it's pointing towards a North Star that's not moving, doing a tiny little circle, but always keeping the same spot in the sky, right? That's a ridiculous story. And how would that even be possible? We're corkscrewing through space. We're going around and around and chasing the sun. All the other stars are moving in all their own directions, and somehow it still stays. Well, here's how you prove it. You build a monument with a thin hole pointing towards the North Star. and you wait 70 years to see if it moves out of there. But guess what? You'd see it move out of there in about a half a degree. A half a degree would move it way out of line if you had a nice little hole. Half a degree. Well, the Georgia Guidestones had that same thing. It was up for over 40 years, and they knocked it down just a couple of weeks ago. Okay, you know about the Georgia Guidestones.
Yeah,
right?
we've covered them. Yeah,
so
we've covered
why
them.
did they knock it down? Right, the whole idea that somebody blew it up because they're trying to stop the New World Order, that's nonsense. The entire story was done on purpose, just hey, back to 9/11. Just like on 9/11, the towers fell and the dump trucks were there and the bulldozers were there. Everything was ready to go, and 400 trucks a day taking stuff out of there from like day one. Okay, how the hell did that happen? And
There's
again,
a lot of dump trucks that are out.
these things fell. No.
They're all in standby, Devin, just waiting.
Yeah.
There's like a million people in Manhattan. You don't think there's 400 dump trucks to sit there?
They got guys and ships and everything, and all logistics.
Monday stand up. The towers going to come down.
Yeah, FEMA showed up 2 days before. Right, FEMA showed up in New York 2 days before. What's up with that? Okay, so the Georgia Guidestones, like one of the stones was slightly damaged, and within hours they bulldozed the whole thing.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, wake up, people, wake up. Right, this hole can't. 40 years pointing at North Star, it wouldn't stay there for a minute if we were spinning and corkscrewing through space. Not a minute. Right? A little bit of damage, and bam, they knocked the whole thing down. Oh, it was dangerous. You know, somebody could fall on somebody. You ever put friggin', if it was a terrorist attack, don't you think there'd be an investigation? Okay. There was a woman that was her husband murdered her in an apartment that I know the owner of the apartment. The owner can't get into his own apartment for like a month. It's been a month. He can't even get to his own apartment. Woman's long gone, but the investigation is still going on. Okay. This is huge.
It's such a big hoax, Dave. Like,
it's so big that you can't fathom it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
That's the problem. And that's how they get away with it. It's a spiritual war. Well, I don't believe in spiritual stuff. I've been brainwashed my whole life that we live on a globe, so my thoughts are limited. I only use 10% of my brain because that's what they told me in school. That's what they indoctrinated me to believe. So I'll never use the other 90% to connect with source, with nature, with my true potential. Right? I need poison stuck into my body to be healthy. Retarded. Right? I need to put poisons on my hands that will sterilize me. I need all of this crazy stuff. Right? You remember? I don't know what you guys think about chemtrails, for lack of a better words, atmospheric spraying. But
yes.
When 20 years ago, I started talking about that, and people said you're crazy. That's a crazy conspiracy theory. Now the CIA, one of the big agencies, they're like, we're going to save the world by spraying these exact chemicals that we call
China already admitted to doing it this year.
I know. So they admit it, but there's still people. There's still people. Yeah, no, strontium, barium, and fluoride, or is it fluoride? Yeah, whatever. Aluminum, strontium, and barium, human blood cells, a whole bunch of other stuff. But people, see, this is the thing. People don't want to believe that there's this much evil in the world. So they're like, you're a conspiracy theorist, and I'm not going to look at your evidence because it'll ruin my world. So I'm just not going to look. Right? That's the thing. People don't want to look at something that will rock their world. But the truth is, you're already on a rocky world, spinning through an infinite space vacuum, flying through into the middle of nothing, where a million things are going to go wrong. You're going to run out of food. You're going to run out of water, fuel, asteroids, right? All of this stuff. When the truth is, this place is amazing. It heals itself, right? And it's not overpopulated, and we're not running out of fuel, and we're not even accessing the free energy that there is. What if people go, what difference does it make? I still got to go to work. What if you didn't have to pay for electricity or fuel? So you could air condition your house as much as you want, you could heat it as much as you want, and you could drive your car forever without ever having to pay for any of that energy. Would that change your life? Well, that technology is being hidden from you because 100%. They don't want us. They don't want us flying around in airships, right? Airships used to rule the world, right? There was giant airships, luxury airships all over the world. Okay, there's still videos of them, but it's all hidden. Okay. There's you guys are on Instagram, right?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yep.
I'm the impossible dreamer. I'm the impossible dreamer. All one word. This guy
Okay.
does 1-2 minute videos. They're phenomenal. Just watch him. He's got giants. He's got giant trees. He's got Tatarian buildings. He's got stuff that can't be explained. And he's making no claims other than we need to research this because our timeline, our story, everything we're being told is a lie to limit us. To limit us. Right? What if you found out that your thoughts actually created your reality? Forget the fact that everyone's life situation is because of the way that they think already. The evidence is there. What if
I
you
believe in
found
the
out?
power of attraction. I
It's not
believe
the,
that's
it's
a
not,
real
it's not
law.
just saying I want $1 million. That's not
No,
it.
you
That's
have to
not how it
feel it.
works.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
You have to
There's a
feel it.
whole
You have
thing
to,
to it.
and it has to all be for good intentions and stuff. But what if you realize that your thoughts create your reality? Would you focus a little better on it? What if you found out that all of your actions had karma attached to them, for lack of a better word? Would
Yeah,
you be a better person?
The
What
book,
if you
The
found out?
Secret's really good.
Yeah, well, that's just the surface of it.
I
That's just
know,
like a
but
little scratching of
that's
the
a
surface.
good one.
You can start there for sure. You know, I used to the Secret. There's two versions of The Secret. One that has the Hickses in it, Esther and Jerry Hicks, and one that doesn't because they broke away from it. I think it was that book. Because they were limiting too much. Okay, but it's a lot simpler than people realize.
Well, it makes sense why, they keep your attention span, every 5 seconds they push a new image out while you're watching TV or, all this stuff to keep your mind as dull as possible so that you don't have time to sit there and focus on anything. It's like when I was studying this, just observing the sun rise and sunset. I can't tell you the last time I just sat down and watched the sunset and sunrise.
I do it as
every
much
morning
as possible. I do it all the time, and it's essential, right? And there's something very sacred about it. And when you do, you'll learn. Like, what do they tell you when there's a solar eclipse? What do they give you for free and tell you not to do? Don't look at the sun. Wear these blinders.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So during the last eclipse, we had I think it was about 85% here. We went down to the beach. I didn't even wear sunglasses. I stared at the eclipse the entire time. It was like an hour and a half, 2 hours. Okay. Stared at it the entire time. Right. Observed it.
When I was a kid, my parents drive down the interstate and I would, no shit, just stare at the sun for an hour and a half. And I still have good vision.
My vision got better after that eclipse. My vision got better. Okay. So they don't want you knowing that the sun is the source of energy, of health, of everything. But they teach you the opposite. The sun gives you cancer, skin cancer, the poisonous chemicals you put on to block yourself from the sun protect you. Not true. Go look back in the 70s. People weren't using suntan lotion. People were barely wearing sunglasses, and people weren't fat. And now everyone's fat and they have skin cancer, and it's a total nightmare.
Let's calm down on the fat talk here.
Well, I mean, that makes sense because you go out, I know with the whole COVID thing, they were like, go get alcohol. Sunlight, go.
No, don't go
out there.
They told you not to go outside.
Mm-hmm.
They closed the churches and synagogues, but they left the liquor stores open. Okay.
Well, I know, but the people that were going the other way were like, go get sunlight, go outside, don't follow what they're pushing because that sunlight is good for your body. I work nights, and if I don't wake up a couple days during the week early enough to go get some sun so I don't feel like a zombie, it changes my whole thing. I mean, it's
absolutely. We're supposed to get up with the sun and go and settle down with the sunset. Okay. And that's the rhythm, but they don't want us on that rhythm. They have us working all different hours. They have us, with our blue screens and stuff. And I'm a victim of it. I wear blue blockers at night, most of the time, or not enough of the time, but I should do it all the time. And they just when we're getting used to it and we're getting healthy, they at the end of the summer they swap over daylight savings time, which throws your circadian rhythm off. Okay. Daylight saving time is the dumbest thing in the world. It's equivalent to you got a blanket and your feet are cold, so you cut a foot off the top of the blanket and sew it to the bottom of the blanket. Okay, that's how dumb daylight savings time is. It's nonsense, but it throws off your rhythm more than you can fathom. Right? They've hijacked our calendar. There used to be 13 months of 28 days. and then there was like a leap day in there.
Yeah.
Okay.
The old Jewish calendar.
Yeah,
Had
there's so
month.
many. So here's my recommendation, guys. Right, and most of you guys know this. In my app, under the web button, scroll down, and there's this button right here: full length videos. Turn off Netflix. Turn off HBO. Except the new Game of Thrones, you can watch that. Okay, and watch these videos. Watch these videos. They're not long, 45 minutes, hour and a half. Some of them it'll be over, and you're like, "Damn, that was good. I wish it was longer." These are better than anything, and they'll wake you up. What part of my challenge is I have a 3 Bitcoin challenge. One is watch all the videos on this button, and then give me 1 proof of the globe, and you win 3 Bitcoins. Or the other challenge is watch the daily video every day that just shows up on your app for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, send me 1 proof of the globe, and you win. But before you do, check the FAQ button and make sure your question isn't answered there.
I downloaded that app. It's fascinating, all the different videos you have tied to it. It's really impressive app.
And more importantly is the friend finder. Okay. So this will show you where the other people are around you, and you can message them. I could like tap on a dot and say, let me see. That one doesn't have a profile. There we go. Let's try this one. There, boom. Here's a Tyler. Let's see Tyler. Tyler got a picture, got some interest. People are using it as a dating app, as a job app. People that are hiring people. Oh, absolutely. And people are using it to hire people. Like, guess what? If I need to hire somebody for my business and I'm a flat earther, I want to hire a flat earther because I know they're awake, aware, smart, and we'll have good stuff to talk about. So bam, you send out a radius message. I could say, hey, send out a radius message to everybody within 50 kilometers. I have to turn that on, 50 kilometers. And my 50 kilometers is like 400 and some odd people. And bam, I could send out a group message to them. I could. I have a new update coming in just the beginning of October where you're actually gonna be able to video call, voice call, send files, send pictures, send all sorts of stuff, and do all sorts of things. Also, I just added a new feature which is coming out of October. So don't look for this. You don't have it yet. Is the leaderboard. So I have people can do referrals. So if you guys download the app and I said, hey, use code DITRH when it asks you if you have a code, it doesn't do anything for you other than gives me a point. And people can use those points to pay for their subscription if they want. You don't have to have the subscription, but if you want to send messages, if you want to use a lot of the friend finder features, you need a subscription, which is $11 a year. $11 a year. Let me say it one more time. 1 margarita a year. Okay. That's it. All right. But you can use 11 referral points to pay for it if you have an issue, like you're on your mom's credit card or something, and you don't want her to see it. But then I'm also gonna have, this is the leaderboard. I'm gonna flip sideways, and you can see the top people that are making referrals. So that's gonna be fun, and there'll be some rewards in there. Other than each point you have is a heaven point. You know what I mean by that? When your time comes and you're at the pearly gates, God might look at you and say, well, you've got 300 sins here, but I see you have 400 referrals. You unplugged 4 people from the Helio Sinister Matrix, right? Therefore, you have a positive balance of 100. Yeah. Come on in.
Yeah. Come on in. Here's your t-shirt and everything.
Come on in. All right. And listen, prove me wrong. All right. Prove me wrong. I think that's how it works.
Do you mind if I we advertise people call in and leave voicemail with a couple questions? Do you mind? All right. Let's do the curious mind line here.
Do you pre-listen to those, Corey?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I do.
Okay,
especially for this
Big
one.
Big Dave's from last week made me laugh. That was fun.
Oh yeah, no, I was a little worried about it, but let me.
And I want to touch on the Penguins thing too before we get off, because I know Dave brought that up. I want to hear about that.
All right, let's do Curious Mind Line real quick.
Thank you for calling Quantum Facts Society. We have reached the curious All right, so this question may be jumbled up a little bit, but yeah, this is for Dave. So my question is, what exactly is the map that we're looking at when it comes to the flat Earth? And then a part 2 question is kind of weird.
You can hear him struggling.
Based on whatever, on a certain type of map, which I guess I don't know the exact name for it, but it would be as to if there's outer land and they have other luminaries, would those be would those possibly be the stars reflecting off of the firmament? I know it's a weird question to ask and a difficult question to ask too, but at least we can get on the right direction or start somewhere. And yeah, so that's all I got. Just those two. So, but thanks, guys. All right, bye.
I think I heard one of them that was would the luminaries with the outer lands be the stars that we see?
Yeah. Yep. That's one. And then what's the actual flat Earth map? That was the first one.
So we don't actually have a rock solid map, but this the map on my app here is a representation of the Gleason's map, which is pretty accurate. So wherever the sun is, it's noon. So right now, if I called my buddy PK and go, "Hey, what time is it?" He'd say it's noon, and the sun's directly above me. And then I wait a couple hours later until it's over here in South Africa. I call somebody there and I say, "Where's the sun?" Like right above me, right? And so this depiction of where the sun going around works in reality. You can call up all these different locations and the sun will be where it's showing. Okay. So there's my map. Other people may argue they have a different map. Let's hear it. I'm open to hear it. There's people that think it's a set up like a Pac-Man. It's more supernatural. I'm not going to rule it out, but right now this physical map works. All right. So let me show you another thing. Do you want to talk about the penguins? So they tell us these penguins are only in Antarctica, but they're actually in 3 other places also. And these penguins, when they lay their eggs, they go fishing. They go, I think they go like up to 500 miles away or something. And they're found in Santiago. They're found in South Africa, and they're found in, I think it was New Zealand or Australia. And if you look at the globe, well, they almost make sense. It's 600 miles to Santiago from Antarctica, but it's way farther to Johannesburg and to Australia. But on this flat Earth map, these are within just a few hundred miles of where they say the ice starts. So it makes sense. These bird migrations only make sense on this map. They make no sense on the globe. Right. And then, he's talking about the outer lands.
Yeah.
Again, so if our sun is within or above our firmament and we're seeing this potential sun, like I showed you with the sky sheet, well, perhaps the outer lands, let me show you, perhaps the outer lands, like, let's say this was our map, right? Have you guys seen this map?
No, I've never seen this one.
Never seen it.
I'm gonna zoom in on you here.
Hold on. I'm gonna change it. I'm gonna go here.
Is that the map with the domes?
Well, it's a great question. And again, anything beyond Antarctica or above where we can reach is pure speculation. So here it is. So let's say, come on. All right, let's say we live right here. This is us, okay? And our sun is projected, into our dome, and so we live in here. And then there's like an outer dome and another dome, and it's our same sun that is appearing. Like if you get 3 glass domes and hold a light above it, each one of them will have its own sun. Okay?
Yeah.
Each one will have its own sun. Right? So I actually have, what do I call that? I call that I had it. Wait, it's called personal atmospheric domes, right? That's what I call it. And I don't know where the hell I put it. All right, whatever. So when you're driving down the road on a sunny day, look at all the other cars. They all have a sun in their window. It looks like there's a sun in each car. You probably never noticed that. But next time it's sunny, sun's high in the sky, look at all the glass windows in the parking lot or on the highway. They all have a sun in them. Okay, that's their personal atmospheric dome. So what if this was Mars and it had its sun, but its sun was up there, it's shining down, but its sun is so far away from us that it looks like a star over here. Right? It looks like a star over here, and here's Jupiter and Saturn and whatever. These are other suns. I don't know if it works that way. It doesn't. I can't work it out. I don't even know what the stars are, but we can prove what they're not. They're not burning balls of gas at the sizes that they tell us, at the distances they tell us. Right? Remember, we were talking about how far a trillion is, right? How long a trillion is, right? They tell us the closest star is 4.5 trillion miles away. 25 trillion miles away. 4.5 light years. 25 trillion miles away. 25 trillion miles away. Okay, that's insane. Our sun is 8 light minutes away. If we moved our sun, the size they tell us, to a mile over your head at noon, it would fill the entire sky. You would see it would be the entire sky. Move it 8 light minutes away, and it's the size of a coin. Move it 16 light minutes away. It's smaller than the size of an eraser. Move it 32 light minutes away, 4 times farther. I don't think you can see it. Double that again. It's a light hour away. Impossible to see, right? And they tell us Polaris is 433 light years away, not light hour away, not 433 light hours away, 433 light years away. Oh, well, Polaris is bigger. It's 48 times bigger. So if we made it 48 light hours away, you couldn't see it. That's 2 light days. 2 light days away, you can't see Polaris. And they tell us it's 433 light years away. And by the way, our most important star, Polaris, they're saying, hey, we might have been off a little bit on a distance. It might be 100 light years closer.
Well, how do you explain like the James Webb telescope that went up, and all these other satellites they send up?
All these other satellites they send up. You know that they before satellites they used balloons, and then all of a sudden we had satellites. Now they're like, all future satellites are going to be balloons. All satellites are balloons. Okay?
Because that's in Roswell they were using balloons, right? And I know in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, where I'm at, they have a big Raven Technologies, and they build huge balloons there for the military.
Right. Well, they launch these balloons all the times with these satellites on them. There's out of Antarctica. NASA admits there's tens of thousands of these things in the air. Right. There are no satellites falling around the Earth. Right. The Earth is corkscrewing. Remember that the animation I showed you? Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
The Earth is corkscrewing through space. How are a geostationary satellite matching all of those motions? The spin of the Earth, the orbiting of the Earth, 66,000 miles an hour, the chasing of the Earth, okay? But somehow...
You believe, like, what, the gravity's holding it in orbit with it?
It's absolute insanity. I mean, you have to believe that that this is going on. We're spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. So this little satellite right here is going to stay over this piece of land, a geostationary satellite. So it's matching the spin of the Earth. It's matching the orbit of the Earth, 66,000 miles an hour. And it's
Are those all the satellites? Supposedly?
Those are supposedly, some of the satellites. They keep changing the number. I'm gonna show you, and some of you guys can hear this. Can you hear that?
No, we couldn't hear it. No. I see it.
Really?
What was that?
So this is the hypersonic sled track, right?
Okay.
And the sound is deafening. If you Google hypersonic sled track, it's going by at Mach 8.6. What does that mean, Mach 8.6? 8.6 times the speed of sound, okay? So you have to believe that we're orbiting the sun 10 times faster than this. A rock surrounded by water, surrounded by air, adjacent in a vacuum, is going 10 times faster than this. around the sun, and it's chasing the sun 100 times faster than this in a curved trajectory, not in a straight line. People go, well, we're already going that fast. Say I could drink water on an airplane. Well, you want to compare the airplane to just the spin of the earth, the slowest motion? You have to take the outside shell off the airplane. You have to double the speed of the airplane, and the pilot has to nose down a mile a minute. Okay. And then that's equivalent to the spin of the earth. Okay. Which you can't even register the spin of the earth with the orbit. 10 times faster around the sun, chasing the sun 100 times faster. But when we go out into nature, what do we get? We get this. What does this tell you? What does your common sense tell you versus the nonsense?
Yeah, it's calm.
This is not moving at all. This is calm. This is the container. The shoreline of these lakes is not moving at all, right? If we were moving, you know what happens when the earth moves? Oh, we're spinning, we're orbiting, we're doing all of these things, right? Here is a pool during an earthquake. Okay, a little earthquake, just a little shaking, This is the pool.
I hope they can swim.
Yeah. Here's a pool, little shake, just a little shake does this. We're spinning, orbiting, and twirling and whirling in curved trajectories in all these different directions, and none of this ever happens. Right? Look at this.
Yeah.
That's wild.
It's
believing in heliocentrism is, it's because we were taught it before we had the ability to think. Before we had the ability to think. Getting back to this for 1 second. So here we are, we live here. So this land right here is, the United States is tiny. It's right here. It's about 4,000 miles wide. So this could be 20,000 miles away. This is like a huge distance.
Yeah.
But it's 20,000 miles away. Is that a light year? Is that a light hour? Is that a light minute? That's nothing. This is nothing. And this is here on the earth plane. Down is down. Out is out. Up is up. Okay? Here, this is scientifically possible, right? And all of these planets, pieces of the plane, a planet, could be right here. Disclosure is right here. It's out there. It's not in outer space. Okay? All of these UFO disclosure guys, get your heads out of your asses. Okay? Disclosure's here, right on Earth. And they probably speak English. And guess what? They're a day trip away, not a lifetime away.
That's why that fascinating thing about Antarctica and the ice wall and everything, why it's, heavily guarded, is because supposedly if you can get through that and travel, you can go to those other, domed places, and they don't want to share that with anybody.
In the app on the books section, if you scroll down just a little bit, we got the Navigator Across the Ice Wall, a great one, and another great one is the Iron Republic. Back. The Iron Republic. A story about people that left here in the 1600s and started a new world out there, and then a politician in the late 1800s that made it through the ice wall and went there, lived there for a bunch of years, and then came back and told the story about this advanced civilization out there. And the reason that they left in the 1600s is because there was tyranny going on, right? So I guess this time around, the controllers are like, we better make everyone think that there is nothing else, so they'll just leave again like last time. Because they need us here. They need us to, in my opinion, is to reincarnate here, right? They want us not to graduate this school that we're in, right? And guess what? They're doing a test. You know who's failing? Go outside and look who has a face muzzle on, okay? They're failing.
Damn face muzzle.
Yeah.
I mean, that's brilliant, though, because, like, one of the comments just popped up. I mean, in school, you're just told they just pound that into you, and then you're just kind of wired and washed into that mindset. And then that is, once you wake up and realize, it's all just bamboozled bullshit, you're like, oh, well, then because that's what you say. And they don't want us to expand our mind to look into that, because then we become dangerous in a sense.
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
I love it. What, Yeah, this is fantastic.
So
I'm gonna read all those books.
Here's the thing: if you're a book person, get those books. Get those books. Absolutely. If you're a video person, most people these days are. Start watching the videos on there. Go watch the featured videos. You know, hit the web button, and there's all sorts of resources in here. We got these are two of my favorite TikTok channels. These guys are great. If you got a short attention span, you want some short stuff, watch that, and then you'll grow a hunger for more information. And then you'll start watching the longer stuff. These guys are great. They actually just started a podcast, which is phenomenal. And they talk about it in all their TikToks. Glowbusters 24/7, fantastic. If you're a Bible guy, Bible 24/7, another great channel. Great biblical videos. If you believe in the Bible or you don't believe in the Bible, watch these videos. They're phenomenal, right?
I watched that last history of flat Earth. I think the 5-hour long one.
5.5 hours.
Oh
right?
my God. What a that guy that put that together. Kudos to him. But it's very, very, very interesting.
Yeah. And then all of my interviews are here. Your interview. Look, if I click that, up comes. Look, there I am. There we are.
We're famous now, boys. We can retire.
It's already on the app. I was unsure where this.
You thought we were going to be dicks, Dave.
I did think I thought you were going to be a bunch of dicks, but you guys are all good. Even Globey McClover.
No, we're after the facts.
We
want to hear everybody's side of the story. You know,
my YouTube channel DITRH I got all my short videos here, the fun stuff, a flat Earth man, great stuff. If you want to completely know that all rockets are fake, watch these videos. All right, but bring your tissue box because you're going to lose your childhood. and go from there. You know, moon stuff. There's so much information in here. It's unbelievable. If you want to get some shirts or stuff, this is my t-shirt shop and other flat Earth related stuff. It's hoodie season. I highly recommend this flat Earther hoodie. It's the greatest conversation starter there is.
You know, I got so much. I told because I'm an electrician during the day, and I've been taking in the flat Earth mind frame for the past 3 weeks while we're waiting for your interview, and my boss is just about to lose his mind because every time I bring up one of your talking points, he doesn't have a response for it, but he just gets very, very upset. You know, he keeps threatening to fire me. But so I was like, hey, you got to watch this live stream tonight because the stuff you say and the points you bring up, it's fascinating. You know, like because you're like you said, you've been programmed since you were a baby to believe in all the solar system, the Earth being a globe, and it's one thing you just never question ever. You've never questioned it, and then this started becoming a trend in 2015. I mean, it's probably before 2015, but started really gaining traction when Kyrie Irving brought it up, and even Shaq brought it up just a couple of weeks ago. Shaq brought up like, hey, it's important to hear this side of the argument. Not saying that he believed in it.
He knows, but he's afraid of losing his sponsors.
This is fair because it's Shaq. I don't got any sponsors to lose. So
yeah. So wait, you're an electrician, right?
Yeah. Yep.
So explain this. This is a radiant machine that's outputting thousands of watts, and it only uses 100 watts, but it's outputting thousands of watts of radiant energy. The energy that you're dealing with is what's known as dirty electricity. It's not good for you. Do this with the electricity you're dealing with, you're not going to have a good day. This is what your body needs. This is what your body thrives on. Okay?
Well, that's what Tesla was discovering.
This absolutely. Absolutely.
And, I mean, when you showed that video of your balloon that you put a negative charge and it floats down, and you put I think that's the process. Positive charge, it floats up. And
what if Newton, when the apple fell, a kid let go of a helium balloon? What would he have thought? Like, what? We'd all be just floating in space right now because Newton wouldn't have figured anything else out other than buoyancy and density are causing things to sort themselves out.
Well, and when Tesla found that he could charge the outer atmosphere of the Earth and send power anywhere in the world, they shut him down very, very quick.
There's a kid today that's doing this stuff. I spaced on his name.
He's got like a froggy voice, doesn't he?
Yeah, froggy voice in the hair. He turned his machine on, and somebody, I think 2,000 miles away, lit a light bulb off of it. 2,000 miles away.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And it's been, I mean, that's been proven since what was a 1901 when he was in Colorado Springs.
Right.
He proved that you could do that. And was it JP Morgan, I think, shut him down.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
he was going to, lose all of his funds. It was
going to be free in a sense. Yeah.
It was going to be free. Not in a sense. It was completely free.
Well, no, but that's why JP shut it. He's like, no, we need to profit off this. We need to make money and be greedy. We can't give it to free. We can't give this away.
Do you bank with Chase, May?
No.
I do. That's the sad.
They're all evil. Doesn't matter which bank you use, bud.
All right. Any final questions, guys? Any final questions? Wrap it up.
I think you've left us all speechless, Dave, which I appreciate.
I'm gonna, I guess, pony up $3 and
so listen, full disclosure, the app is $3. It gives you everything you need to move to do stuff. But if you want to send messages, if you want to go into the friend finder, and if you notice right there, bam, this notifies you every time somebody downloads the app. It's kind of fun. Like, oh my God, another flat earther. Oh my God, another flat earther. And the counter is right here. That you need the subscription for. If you want to access the profiles, that you need a subscription for. You want to send outgoing messages, that you need a subscription for. You can receive incoming video calls and phone calls from subscribers, but you can't initiate an outgoing one. And you can't access, what else can't you access? And the weather. That's it. You get your basic weather right here. But if you want to get into it's a great ad-free weather app. That's part of the subscription. Again, 1 margarita a year. Okay. 1 margarita a year gives you, this is the only weather app I use. It gives you everything you need. And so that's $11 a year. But again, starting in a couple weeks, you'll be able to cash in your referral points for the subscription if you don't want to pony up the margarita.
I appreciate you coming on the show, Dave, a lot. And even though you thought you were coming to a hostile audience, I hope we were nicer than.
Yeah, you actually one of the nicest groups ever. I just watch your other shows, man. This is unlike the other shows. So it's
I don't know if you're watching the right shows.
Sometimes you get a little.
One of you guys is talking about how on a flat earth, as you walk farther from the center, you have to start leaning forward, which is the dumbest.
No, I think you watched the wrong show, because we never talked about flat earth until this one.
Wait a minute. Isn't the channel? Oh, never mind. I don't even know. It's fine.
Phantom Facts Society. With Phantom Facts on YouTube, but on Spotify it's Phantom Facts Society.
What happened to the Shills channel? I thought it was the Shills.
No, we're Phantom Facts. We're Phantom Facts.
FANTOM. Phantom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's why I had the wrong impression. All right.
Oh, I mean, I am an asshole, but
listen, I'm a flat earther.
I'm pretty sure I edited out all of Devin's assholiness on.
I'm a flat earther, but I don't even know what show I'm on.
Except for when I'm talking.
Well, now we don't feel as special, but that's fine.
I'm really bad when I'm talking about police.
Devin, out of the entire group, when I told him we were having you on, he was triggered immediately the most.
I was little.
You don't even downplay it. You're like, what are we doing? What are we doing? I'm like, bro, you gotta listen. You just gotta listen to this guy.
I joined a flat Earth group on Facebook, and I haven't engaged anybody or triggered anybody, but some of those comments, I'm like, man, there's some deeply religious people.
Well, listen, there's religious people no matter where you go, and people that will lead with the Bible. I never lead with the Bible, but also flat earthers get so passionate because once you see the deception, you wonder, how the hell did I ever believe this nonsense? I mean, once you understand the heliocentric model this much, you go, this is stupid, and it's gone, right? It's literally dumber than Narnia, okay? And then you get kind of triggered, you get pissed, like what the fuck is this guy saying? And people can become quite nasty. I always tell people, just remember where you were before you were a flat earther. You were that person. You were that person.
I watched you do one with Professor Dave, I think it was, and it was just he was so nasty right from the get-go. And I'm just like, what are you trying to prove here? Let the guy at least get a word in. He wouldn't even let you get a word in. And I was like, man,
and no, it's great. So on the app, if you hit the web button again and you go to the debunking the debunkers with his ugly mug right here, you click that. The top video right there is a channel called Mind something. And they I'm trying to remember the name of the channel. He takes a neutral standpoint and he just goes through and calls out the logical fallacies. And I'll give you a spoiler alert. Dave got like almost 300 and I had 15. I got 15. And basically my 15 weren't even like he was stretching to give them to me because I said like, hey, I like said stop being a dick. And so I got a point for that. But it's actually a genius video breakdown. So again, if you Google flat Earth, Google's gonna deliver you.
Yeah, you can't find anything.
You can't find it. Like I Google globe busters. I Google my name or no, not even my name, just anything flat Earth. Boom, that video, the original, shows up first because they think that it's that a flat earther took a beating because that's what the title says and his algorithm, is pitched that way. But
do
again,
a lot of.
Well, I'm just saying a lot of people email me like, hey, I'm not a flat earther, but why was this guy such a dick? And that gives me the opportunity to send them the playlist. Here, watch this playlist. And then they email me back like, holy crap, this is real. And I'm like, welcome. And that's the end of it.
We do a lot of conspiracy episodes, and I've discovered that when you try to Google for any type of information and you can't find it, you're probably on to something good.
Damn right. When the fact checkers check you, you're on it.
No. But well, we appreciate it so much, Dave. Thank you so much for coming on our show.
FlatEarthDave.com. You could, if you're looking to book me on a show, there's a Book Dave link there. There's the app is there. The crash course is there for free. The podcast is there. What else is there? There's Flat Earth Coffee there. Check it out.
Thanks again so much. We really appreciate your time.
All right, guys.
Thanks, Dave.
Give everyone a have a good weekend, everybody.
Later.